We never had a basement, so why was there a door leading down? When Jake's family moved into their new home, it seemed perfect. A quiet suburban house with a big backyard, freshly painted walls, and a neighborhood that felt safe. But there was one thing that didn't make sense. A door. It was in the hallway between the kitchen and the living room, old and worn, unlike the rest of the house. The doorknob was rusted, and no one could open it. His parents brushed it off, saying it was probably just a sealed-off utility closet. The realtor hadn't mentioned a basement, and the house plans didn't show one, but Jake knew something was wrong. At night, he heard it. A soft knocking. It wasn't rhythmic, like pipes or house settling. It was deliberate, like someone, or something, was trapped behind the door. He told his parents, but they laughed it off. "You've just got an overactive imagination," his dad said. But then one night, something changed. The door opens. It was past midnight. Jake was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to shake off the uneasy feeling. That's when he heard it. Not a knock, a creak, the unmistakable sound of a door slowly opening. His stomach twisted as he sat up, heart pounding. He tiptoed down the hall, every nerve in his body screaming for him to stop, to turn back. The door that was supposed to be locked was open. And beyond it, a staircase spiraled downward into total darkness. The air coming from below was thick, damp, and ice cold. It smelled like earth and something rotten. Jake's breath hitched. That's when he heard it. A whisper. "Finally, you found me." Then, slam. The door shut behind him. Trapped in the dark. Jake stumbled back, heart hammering as he groped for the doorknob. It wouldn't budge. He banged against the door, yelling for his parents, but his voice was swallowed by the thick silence. The whispering started again. It came from below. A slow, dragging shuffle echoed up the staircase, something heavy moving toward him. He fumbled for his phone, turning on the flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness, revealing stone walls lined with scratches, hundreds, maybe thousands of deep gouges, fingernail marks. Jake's stomach twisted. Someone had tried to claw their way out. The air grew colder. His breath fogged in front of him. Then he saw it. At the bottom of the stairs, something stood in the shadows. A figure, tall, thin, watching. Jake's blood turned to ice. Then it moved, not walked, jerked. Like something learning how to move its limbs for the first time. Its head lolled at an unnatural angle, and as it stepped forward, the light revealed its face. Jake's own face, but wrong. The mouth was too wide, the skin stretched too tight, and the eyes, black pits that reflected nothing. It smiled. "You left me down here," it rasped. "But now you're here. That means I get to go up." Jake bolted up the stairs, slamming into the door, pounding with everything he had. "Let me out!" Behind him, his reflection moved closer. It whispered, almost tenderly, "I remember now. I was you, and you were me." A hand gripped his shoulder. A sharp, tearing pain ripped through Jake's body, like he was being turned inside out. His vision blurred, his screams choked in his throat as his own skin felt like it was melting, like something was pulling him apart. Jake's parents found him the next morning, curled up in the hallway. The basement door was gone, just smooth, untouched wall. His mom shook him awake. "Jake, sweetie, what are you doing here?" He sat up, dazed. His body felt wrong, like his limbs weren't his. Then he saw his reflection in the hallway mirror, and he knew. He was still in the basement, and something else had taken his place. His mother smiled warmly, brushing his hair back. "Bad dream, honey?" Jake opened his mouth to scream, but his voice wasn't his anymore.